Got y'all in real tight. Okay, yes, I'm wearing a wig. No, I did not cut my hair. If you go over to clevelandthreads.us, you will find out what this is all about. But it's fun, so I'm going to wear it. And today we are doing another vlog. So, I'm going to read off my little technical device because that's the easiest way to do it. So I wrote this one on June 30th. We had gone on a family trip with my mom's best friend and her husband, my mother, and my son. I named it Water. This week we went to Colorado. We traveled with my mama, her best friend Terry, and Terry's husband Clyde Bob. The point of our excursion was to see an aunt of mine that I haven't seen in over 11 years. She never showed up. So we spent a couple of nights in Manitou Springs, riding the train to the top of Pikes Peak, admiring the local architecture, and strolling around their beautiful downtown. It really is a beautiful place to visit and/or reside. The days seemed casual and pleasant. They seemed to flow smoothly, or so I thought. On our last night in Manitou, I erupted. While trying to rock Klaus to sleep, Randy Travis's "On the Other Hand" came on my speaker. And I fell apart, out of nowhere. Big, ugly, weeping, snotting, the works. My mom took Klaus so that I could have a minute to collect myself, but it just kept coming and coming. When I crawled out of my dungeon, they asked what they could do. I had no answer. They asked what had triggered it. I had no answer. They asked if it was okay to continue our adventure. Really, I didn't know what to answer. I was just gutted. Once I gathered myself, I was able to communicate a little better, and was informed that I had been pulling away from not only our company, but also my baby. I was shocked. I really thought I had been putting on a solid front, and I really had been enjoying our trip. But being faced with the guilt of unintentionally pulling away from my little, I erupted once again. What an awful and gut-wrenching idea, pulling away from Klaus. I showered and changed and climbed in my bunk for the night. I went over our trip and tried to put a pin in the moments that might have assisted my meltdown. We cannot fix what's bothering us if we don't know what it is. 1. We are on a family trip. 2. William loved Colorado. 3. William and I almost moved to Colorado Springs. 4. Couples. Lots of couples. 5. The looming idea of going to a lake on the next day. 6. Who really knows? Just go to bed to show. I slept without nightmares that night, which is a rare occurrence. I awoke to a happy baby and somewhat fresher self, with the exception of the reappearance of bruised eyelids. We left Manitou and headed for Monument Lake. This is something I have been reluctant to participate in since the accident. Water. More than that, non-transparent water. My baby, myself, and water. It haunts me. Water. I still bathe with Klaus at 7.5 months old. I have 3 life jackets for him. I have nightmares about water. I cringe when it's near. I stop breathing over bridges. I walk around puddles. I avoid roads where ponds are nearby. I have to work extremely hard to allow him the bliss of playing in a small, private, crystal clear pool. And here we are at a lake. A giant, dark lake. And I continue to remind myself, you want to do this. You wanted to face this. You wanted to conquer this. You have no control of the number of days we have on this earth. Klaus needs the opportunity to grow up loving the water like you did. Don't let this control you. Don't let this control you. Don't let this control you. I repeat it, but I can't make it true. I can't make it to the water. Hell, I can't even make it off the campsite. I will be here for 3 more days. 3 more days to control this. There's a bunch of pictures, which I will include. Continued. I spent Sunday and Monday avoiding the water. I didn't even look at it. I watched Klaus, watched the trees, and oogled over the herds of chipmunks. I knew it was something I wanted to conquer on the trip, but wanting and doing are 2 very different things. I contemplated and planned how we would go down, where we would go down at, how it would go, that we would get close but not in. Klaus would wear a life jacket no matter what, and that when it was over, I could let that weight go. Over and over. This list, alongside of the memories of all the times before when I would be the first person in the water and the last out. I adored the lake, the river, anywhere with water. Now I have been here for days and haven't so much as been to the shore. I know it was a freak thing that took William. I know that I have no control over the days we have on Earth. I know I shouldn't let Klaus feel my anxiety. I know this is insane. I know this is insane. The day comes. It's our last day here, my last chance to get this over with or have to wait until my next journey to a body of water. I live in the Texas Panhandle. Very little water. I get everything prepared. Klaus's chair, Klaus's fishing pole, Klaus's life jacket, a jacket for myself to be a comfortable hug, Klaus and my mama. We stroll down to the waterside and decide a plan of attack along the way. I believe that littles pick up vibes from the people they love and trust. This weighs on me and how I try to face my mountains. So on our way down, I throw on a smile and try to keep an upbeat conversation flowing between my mama and I. We started on the damned ledge. Damn, like damn, not cursing. This gave us a barrier, as well as approximately 10 feet off the ground between the water and ourselves. We then made our way to the porch of the bait shop, and I tried to figure out how to operate Klaus's fishing pole. This is where I planned to stop. My mom urged me to move up to the grass and sit for just a bit. Reluctantly, I agreed. Near the water was a tiny cove that was about 4 feet deep into the wall of the shore. I talked myself onto the ledge. If you're going to do this, then do it to show. Shit or get off the pot. We did it. Honestly, it was a little anticlimactic. Once we hit the water, it was just like home. It was play. Oh, it was just like home. It was play. Months of anxiety and self-preparation, and it was all in my head. I will still be crazy about Klaus wearing a life jacket, I'm sure. And I know that getting actually into the water will be tough. But this little step was huge for me. It was huge for Klaus's future. All in all, it was a beautiful trip. I wrote letters to people I needed to. I wrote blog posts, even though I was without internet. I got through some mountains, and I lived. I lived for Klaus, and I lived for me. That is such a huge moment for me to look back on. I don't know if you can tell, I'm shaking. And here in 3 days, I'm headed to the river with him. He's been every summer of his life. I get through it. That's where our family reunion is. And we wear life jackets. And this year, he's actually going to float the river with me for just a little like from campsite to campsite. But he's learned to swim this summer. He is a little fish. I'm still not comfortable in shady water, but I'm getting better. And that's huge. It's huge for me. So I will see y'all next time. Be kind to one another. Bye.